The Landman Season 3 trailer opens with a feeling we are not used to trusting: calm. After everything Season 2 put Tommy through, the loss of Mtex, the near destruction of his family, Cooper almost going to prison, and the risky decision to align himself with Galino again, we now see a man who looks like he's starting over on his own terms. CTT oil exploration and cattle is no longer just an idea. It's real. The trailer leans into this fragile sense of independence, showing Tommy no longer answering to Cammy, no longer bending to corporate pressure, and no longer pretending that stability is enough. But Landman has always been clear about one thing: freedom comes with a price. The trailer quietly reinforces that idea. Tommy doesn't look relaxed. He looks alert. Every line of dialogue, every pause, every look on his face suggests that he knows this version of success is temporary. Cooper's role as president isn't framed as a victory. It feels like a burden being passed down too early. There's pride there, but also fear. Season 2 taught us that Cooper's instincts are powerful, but they also paint a target on his back. The trailer reminds us that his oil fields are still connected to blood, legal danger, and unfinished business. Meanwhile, Tommy's words carry the same weary honesty we've come to expect from him. He isn't chasing happiness, he's chasing control. And even that seems just out of reach. The biggest strength of the Season 3 trailer is how it respects the Season 2 ending. It doesn't undo it, it builds directly on it. The uneasy alliance with Galino still hangs over everything like a shadow. Nothing is resolved, only delayed. And that makes one thing painfully clear. Season 3 isn't about whether Tommy can win. It's about how much he's willing to lose to stay standing. What the Season 3 trailer makes painfully clear is that Tommy's new independence is not as clean as he wants it to be. Yes, CTT exists. Yes, Mtex is behind him, but Galino is not. The trailer subtly reinforces that this partnership is not built on trust, but on leverage. Galino doesn't need to threaten Tommy loudly anymore. His presence alone is enough. Season 2 showed us that favors always come at a cost, and Season 3 looks ready to collect. There's a quiet tension in the way Galino is framed, as if he's not rushing anything because he doesn't have to. Tommy, on the other hand, looks like a man constantly calculating his next move. The trailer hints that this time, the danger isn't just external, it's structural. CTT is built on shaky ground: legal risks, political pressure, and enemies who don't forget. Cooper's land is still controversial, and the trailer suggests that powerful players are watching closely, waiting for one mistake. Nate's role handling finances feels heavier now, as if numbers themselves have become weapons. Rebecca's presence signals that legal warfare will be just as important as oil rigs and contracts. The trailer also hints that Tommy's refusal to work under someone else hasn't erased the system he's fighting against. Chevron may have walked away, but corporations don't lose interest, they circle. And while Cammy is no longer in direct control of Tommy's life, the trailer strongly suggests her story isn't over. Isolation has a way of sharpening people, and her silence at the end of Season 2 now feels like preparation. Season 3 doesn't frame its conflict as man versus man anymore. It feels bigger than that. It's man versus structure, versus ownership, versus a world that punishes anyone who tries to build something without permission. And at the center of all of it is Tommy, doing what he's always done best, moving forward even when he knows the ground might collapse beneath him. One of the most powerful things the Season 3 trailer does is shift the focus back to family, reminding us that for Tommy Norris, business decisions are never just business. Season 2 proved that the fastest way to hurt him is through the people he loves, and the trailer makes it clear that this truth hasn't changed. Cooper's future remains uncertain, not because he lacks ability, but because everything he touches carries consequences. The weight of almost losing his freedom still lingers over him, and the trailer suggests that the trauma from Ariana's assault and the death that followed hasn't faded. It's simply been buried. Cooper stepping into a leadership role doesn't feel like growth. It feels like pressure being applied too soon. Ariana, now part of the company, represents both healing and risk. Her presence ties the business directly to a past that the law, the media, and their enemies could easily reopen. Tommy's role as a father looks more complicated than ever. He isn't just protecting Cooper anymore, he's relying on him. And that imbalance is dangerous. The trailer also hints that Tommy's loneliness, something Season 2 quietly exposed, is becoming more visible. Leadership has isolated him further, not freed him. Even surrounded by people he trusts, he still feels like the one who has to absorb every consequence alone. The emotional tension in the trailer doesn't come from shouting or violence. It comes from silence. From moments where Tommy looks like he wants to believe this new life can last, but doesn't quite let himself. Season 3 seems ready to explore the cost of dragging your family into your fight, even when your intentions are good. Because in Landman, love doesn't protect you, it just gives your enemies something to aim at. The Landman Season 3 trailer makes one thing very clear. Nothing from Season 2 is truly over. The legal fallout surrounding Cooper may be quiet for now, but it hasn't disappeared. The trailer hints at renewed pressure from law enforcement, regulators, and outside interests who were never satisfied with how things ended. What once looked like a closed case now feels like a ticking clock. Rebecca's role becomes even more critical here. She isn't just defending anymore, she's anticipating attacks before they happen. Every move CTT makes feels like it's being watched, documented, and stored for later use. At the same time, the offshore situation with Newsom still hangs unresolved, reminding us that Tommy's choices ripple far beyond his immediate circle. The oil world in Landman is shown as patient and unforgiving. It doesn't forget who crossed lines or who tried to play the game differently. The trailer also suggests that Cammie's absence from Tommy's life hasn't reduced her influence. If anything, it has made her more unpredictable. Season 2 ended with her isolated, but isolation can either break someone or harden them. Season 3 seems to be betting on the latter. Her silence now feels strategic. The trailer doesn't show confrontations, it suggests inevitability. That's what makes it unsettling. Everyone is moving forward, but they're all dragging the past behind them. And the closer Tommy gets to building something real, the more that past seems ready to resurface. Landman has always been about consequences catching up, and Season 3 looks like the moment where the bill finally comes due. What truly makes the Landman Season 3 trailer so good is that it doesn't try to convince us everything will fall apart. Instead, it asks a more unsettling question. What if it almost works? Season 2 ended with Tommy choosing something dangerous over something safe, and Season 3 looks ready to test that choice from every angle. For the first time, Tommy isn't fighting to survive someone else's system. He's fighting to protect the one he built himself. That shift changes everything. The trailer frames success as just as threatening as failure. The higher CTT rises, the more attention it draws. And attention in this world is never neutral. Galino's warning about consequences doesn't feel like a threat anymore. It feels like a promise. At the same time, there's a quiet optimism running underneath the tension. The crew standing together, profit shares in place, and roles clearly defined give a sense of unity we haven't seen before. But Landman has taught us not to trust comfort. Tommy's weary happiness from the Season 2 finale now feels like the emotional core of Season 3. He knows better than anyone that peace is temporary. And yet, for once, he's willing to risk everything to keep it. With the show officially renewed and a likely late 2026 release, Season 3 is shaping up to be the most personal chapter yet. Not because the stakes are bigger, but because the losses would finally be his. And that's what makes this trailer hit so hard. It doesn't promise explosions, it promises consequences. For more weekly updates, breakdowns, and deep dives into Landman, make sure to like and follow. And if you want to go deeper, the video on your screen right now might be worth your time.